YouTube, and welcome back to Retired for Life. It's been some time since I've done a video. I have pretty much taken the winter off. Not that I haven't been busy, because I have been. So let's do a quick look around and see where things are right now. So I've been spending a fair bit of time in the shop working on different things and doing small equipment upgrades in there. And I have just finished taking the snowblower off the front of the John Deere lawn tractor and getting it ready to go into action for actually cutting lawns again. So let's have a look at where that is. So as you can see, the John Deere no longer has the snowblower on the front. And there's the deck, which I still need to clean up before I put on. So I'm going to bring in my joist supports for my little roof-mounted hoist here and swing the deck up from that and start cleaning the bottom of it out. Because I have the Kubota tractor now, which is hugely more powerful than this, I think what I'm going to do is get a snowblower for the Kubota, and this will be left just to do lawns. It needs a bit of a break. It is getting pretty old. This is a 2008 John Deere. I have had some issues with it, but with a lot of maintenance and care, I have managed to keep it running, and it still runs very well. The motor is still really strong in it. I'm quite pleased with that, so I plan to get a few more years out of it yet. But to help protect it, we'll take some of the heavy work away, and it won't do the snow blowing anymore. So let's go up to the sawmill and we'll have a look at how things are going up there. So everything is still quite wet, which makes it difficult to bring the tractor out. If I bring the tractor out, I'm going to start chewing everything up here, which I really don't want to do. So I'm probably still going to be a little while before I get the sawmill up and running into full production. Now I do have some logs sitting there ready to go. Not very many, but enough to get me started. Now, one of the things I did, if you recall, I had this old frame that I salvaged from the scrap, put it back up, and I have put this tarp over top of it, but I really don't think that this is going to work properly or work very well. So I tried to avoid this, but I don't think I can avoid it. I'm going to purchase a proper top for it, which I'm not thrilled about doing, because that's going to cost me a little over 300 bucks to do, where this tarp cost me 50. But as you can see, it's really not closed in that well. I still get rain blowing in the front of it, which means I'm still going to have to cover my wood in there to protect it. And this tarp is just a little too flimsy. I'm surprised that it hasn't actually ripped to pieces yet. But anyway, I'm going to get the proper top for it in place, and then to help protect that top from UV, I will put this over top of the top so the tarpaulin won't be wasted. So I haven't taken the cover off of the sawmill yet. It's still needs to be started up and tested, and I've got to get the blade in it and get some setup work done to it. But we're not too far away from doing that. I just, as I say, need things to be a teeny bit drier so I'm not chewing everything up when I come up here with the tractor. But anxious to get going. And you can see how the tractor has already started tearing things up here, even though the ground is still partially frozen. So that's going to have to wait a little bit before I'm really into production on things. But let's go have a look at the new piece of equipment that I got, that this big wooden box held. So one of the issues I have with utilizing the sawmill and utilizing the wood on the property is getting to it and pulling it out. Now, Art has offered a few times to do that with his tractor, but the thing I don't want to do is have to cut a really wide, high swath to allow his tractor back in here. Plus, that's going to really tear up my yard. And you can see, even with my little Kubota, with the ground being so soft, how things are getting chewed up a little bit. But let's have a look at what we have in here. So this is a log hauler that I can put behind the ATV. The ATV has got a small footprint and is pretty easy on the environment. And this should allow me to haul out my 8-foot long logs to get them into the open space to where I can then pick them up with the grapple on the tractor and take them up. So I got this from Home Depot, and I'm really looking forward to giving it a try. It's quite heavy duty. I am very impressed with how heavy the square tube is. This is not a light thing. It will handle quite a bit of weight. So it'll be very interesting to see how this thing works. We'll put it to the test pretty soon, I hope. Again, we're waiting. Things have got to unthaw and dry a little bit. So over the winter, I did sell off a number of older tools and things. And what I did that for was to get this. This is a huge upgrade for me. This DeWalt miter saw has got incredible capacity compared to my old 10-inch rigid. And that I have sold to my neighbor with the stand and everything with it. And he is very happy to have that because he did get a really good price for it. And I am ready to have this because I'm going to need this to be able to cut some of the wide boards and that type of thing that I plan on sawing on the mill. And this is just going to make that so much easier to deal with. It is quite a bit more powerful than the rigid was, and it's got a lot of reach and a 12-inch blade. So it's not going to be too long before I can pull the cover off of the RV trailer. I'm looking forward to that and not looking forward to it because it does need a fair bit of work. It needs a fair bit of cleaning. I've got a lot of things to test out on it yet. I've got parts I have to get on order for it, and it's just going to take time to do. So, time. Yes. Who said retirement means you're going to be less busy and you're going to have more free time? I don't know. I think that was me. It's not so much working out. Anyway, let's have a very quick look at some of the jobs that I was doing inside the house during the winter to give you an idea of what I was doing to keep myself busy. So as you may remember from previous videos, this house is a very unusual construction. It was put up kind of segment at a time over a number of years. Now this room used to have my workout equipment in it, but that has all been taken out here and the room is basically empty now. And the funny thing is we haven't really quite figured out what to do with it. So this room used to be just a storage room, and it was bare cement walls, and it was pretty ugly. So the job I took on was to get the walls all drywalled and painted, and as you can see, that's done now, but I haven't done the ceiling, and I quite intentionally left that because we are planning to put in these mini split combination kind of heat pump air conditioning unit in the house at some point in time. I'm not sure whether it'll happen this year, but to do that, I believe I am going to have to run a power cable over to this far wall, right up through the joists and through the top there, to get power to the unit outside. So I figured I'm just going to leave the ceiling incomplete for now and then come back and do it. That way I'm not having to worry about getting wire over to supply power to the mini splits. So I did a number of small plumbing jobs in the house. One of them was putting in a lovely new porcelain sink in the bathroom. I'm quite pleased with how that turned out. And a couple of other small jobs. A job I still have left to do is put a circulating fan up here where this vent hole is. Because this is right over top of our pellet stove, this goes up into the living area. So what I want to do is put like a bathroom fan up in here and draw this heat up into that area. And also in the summertime, it will draw cool air up into there too. So we'll see how that works. But I decided to leave that because it was just going to be a big nuisance to build a scaffolding or something to go up over top of the pellet stove in order to allow me to work on this. So this is still an indoor job that I've got left to do. And I'll do that as soon as I can shut down the pellet stove for the year. So that pretty much brings you up to date, guys. And as I said earlier, welcome back to the channel. And it should be an interesting year. Got lots of things to do, lots of projects on the go, including a lot of painting. I've got to get the shop stained, and a number of other small jobs to get underway, along with getting the sawmill up and running. But for now, it's time to get back to work. I'm going to bring in the supports for my hoist up in the joists of the shop and get to work on getting the lawnmower ready to go. Not that we're going to need the lawnmower anytime too soon, but it will be one job out of the way, and I can take the lawnmower tractor and put it up in the garden shed and just forget about it until I actually need to use it, and that will get everything out of the shop. So thanks very much for watching, guys, and we'll see you out on the trails the next time.